Lace up! Smartland is beyond capacity for marketing ideas and designs, and now they're bringing them to you. Grab them before they're gone. It's a race for the greatest marketing campaigns. Ready, set, run with it!
My name is Eric Galabitsky. I raise capital here at Smartland. With me today, I have Matt and Victor.
Matt.
Top marketing gurus. Today, we're going to be talking about Airbnb as a business. If it makes sense to be a host, it's our 2 cents, what we think about the business. And by all means, if what we say makes sense to you, by all means, run with it. So, where do we start? So, does it make sense? What do you know about
what did I find out?
And hosting? Yeah.
Well,
have you ever done it?
Well,
have you ever?
I
done
haven't. I've
Airbnb?
never done
I
it.
have.
Yeah.
I've stayed at a few. For actually my honeymoon, we stayed at one in San Diego, and I mean it was awesome. Like I personally, I don't think I'd go travel or do anything other than Airbnb.
Why an Airbnb versus a hotel?
I mean, you get that privacy that at a hotel you don't get.
What do you mean by
Cost.
privacy?
So like, there's just not people just running up and down the halls or people next to you making noise. Like you're in a house, you're in a
Or
Yeah,
knock
condo.
housekeeping at 9 o'clock in the morning.
right, exactly.
Right.
So it's like it's just you. It's like you're going to a second home, and everything is there. I mean, other than food, obviously, but like pots and pans, TV, internet, electric, water. It's just everything.
Sure.
So you go to a hotel and it's like you get your little shampoos, you get the little stuff which I don't even use because bring my own stuff anyway. So why would I? What's the accommodation at a hotel compared to an
Was it
Airbnb?
less expensive or the same price?
It was hugely less expensive than staying at a hotel. And I mean,
About how much did you pay per night? Versus a hotel?
Probably like $100 a night.
Versus
hotel
in San Diego,
200 or
So
something.
yeah, 250, 200, and it probably same location too. Maybe 5 minutes down the road.
So you and your wife at the time, was it a shared Airbnb or did you get the whole?
So
Apartment
it was
or
kind of
house?
like a duplex, but it was really gated off on each side. We got a little front area, 6 foot high fence,
Mm-hmm.
and then we could tell there was a neighbor next to us.
Uh-huh.
But nobody even stayed in it the whole time we were there. It just was, either on the market or they were cleaning or transitioning from the last people that were there. And then we also had a huge problem arise when we were there.
Well,
Our sink in the bathroom, very nice, glass bowl, water ran down and it created like a vortex to come down. But the water wouldn't stay in the bowl; it just dripped down, like it didn't even have any basin to catch it.
uh-huh.
Emailed or contacted our Airbnb host through the app.
Mm-hmm.
They came out. They even were like, "Oh, well, we don't want to send somebody if you're there. We don't want to intrude. When's the next time you'll be gone?" We gave them a time. It was fixed. We came back to a 6-pack and a bottle of wine, saying sorry for the inconvenience,
Wow.
and it was
That's
fixed.
That's great. That's great.
You
You don't get that at hotels.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, these hosts, they have to really go above and beyond to please their renters.
Sure. Well, I mean, reviews are everything online, and that's how they get additional hosts and so on. So, but that definitely speaks to it as a business, how much time commitment, and the fact that, I mean, you're basically running your own hotel.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a part-time job. Is my thinking, is my view.
Have to have the maintenance, have to have the cleaning crew. Yeah.
And be
There's a
on
lot
the
involved.
spot. Sometimes it's 24/7. If their toilet went out, we just kept on flushing the toilet. A full day of just water running. Like, God forbid we left the sink on and created water damage.
Right.
Who covers that?
Right.
They came out immediately and were like, "Oh, we apologize. This was a big issue for them. They wanted to take that extra step, and then they showed it by giving us a little gift. They didn't have to do that. They could have just fixed it and been sorry,
Right.
and we
Right.
still could have been happy because of how fast they fixed it.
Mhm.
They went above and beyond to say, here, we really apologize.
Right. No, that's nice. That's
Yeah.
nice.
So as far as business and whether it makes sense, right? Location is a big thing.
I think location is huge. You know, when I think about, okay, would I go, you know, I love Cleveland. I love living here and working here, but would I consider this a vacation destination? I don't know. I feel like vacation is implied when it's Airbnb.
A business trip also.
Yeah, I mean,
Any sort of
the
trip,
positives also is in Cleveland is that we have a lot of tourist attractions, right? The museums, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, etc. Sports. I mean, we have out of towners coming in to watch sports here as well.
all the time.
NFL, NBA, baseball. So you also get into the affordability aspect of it. And here we can definitely beat hotels' prices and provide that better experience for the people coming in. Not to mention, I think a lot of Airbnb hosts go above and beyond and help facilitate experiences, right? So when you visit towns, whether it's
Right.
Cleveland or Nashville or San
Yeah.
Diego, etc., to have booklets, to have information, or to help get around, whatever.
Yeah, and they literally, just like you said, when I went to San Diego, they had booklets, they had things that they created, like a 3-ring binder of things just from them saying, you know, here's what we suggest, here's this. Then they had the
Nice.
other stuff that they got from, you know, the city or from every area. It was cool. And then they even provided things like they went even more above and beyond and said, you know, here's a recipe book. So like any people that stayed there, they just put a favorite recipe in there, and some people might stay and cook them. You know, it's just like providing more of a home instead of just a place to stay.
Right on,
Mm-hmm.
right on.
Well, I searched the area I live at, Chesterland,
Yep.
which is a suburb of suburb.
Sure.
Which, you know, a
It's
lot
on
of the
the outskirts
areas,
of
a lot of
it,
the areas are rural, and what I found out is there are only very few properties listed on Airbnb. But then I looked at each one of them, at each profile, and each one of them had a surprising amount of reviews. Even
Right.
one of them had over 100 reviews.
Wow.
That means that even though it is a kind of a slow market, but because there are so little properties that it offers,
Mhm.
each one is doing really well.
Sure.
Each one's staying busy.
That's interesting. I guess, how do you price? How do you think you price what a night stay should cost in a house?
I think it would all have to be on what the market's doing.
I think
You know,
they suggest.
you know,
I'm pretty
suggest-
sure they would suggest.
You know, see if same thing as maybe like appraising a house. You know, how many bedrooms is it? How many people can stay? What the square footage is compared to another Airbnb right down the street that's the same size, same structure. And if they're doing 150, but they have 100 reviews, and you're new to the game, yeah, you're probably going to drop it down a little bit just to get some people in the door first, to create good reviews, to get your status up.
And you might still have a mortgage.
Well, that's how you look at it as a business. Is if you did buy it like our investors buy homes or whatever else, some put 20% down, some pay cash for them, etc. So it's just generating cash flow. But if you bought a house and still have a mortgage, right, and only put 20% down, let's just say all in, you might be, $1,500 a month with electric and gas and
Then you
Whether
better be
you
in a good
offer-
area, because you shouldn't be in Chesterland in that case, for sure.
well,
You better be in downtown Cleveland.
Right.
Right, and think about it, that's a monthly payment. That's a monthly charge of that $1,500. They got to at least make that in a month
Right.
by renting it out. By some people might stay 2 days, some people might stay a week.
So look, there's on average 30 nights in a month. If you're charging $100, that's three grand max.
Or
that
if
you
you're
can
only
make,
booked
half.
a third of the time,
then you're losing money.
right? Right. There's this website I found it's called airdna.co, and it actually gives you incredible statistics per area for Airbnb. How many properties, how well they're doing, what is the average income, what is the average occupancy rate. It's incredible. It is a paid site. You know, you have to subscribe for $20 a month, $19.95, but it does give you some incredible statistics.
Yeah,
for
$20
for somebody who would want to start such business. That would be
like really drilling down the logistics before they even start.
Any stats that they shared, like the average host?
But they basically said they're showing you how many properties are in the area, how many of them are booked right now, how many of them are available, and what is the average occupancy rate. And then if you want to see more,
Does it say occupancy rate like per month, per year, or does it break it down? Do you know? Because I'd like to see, you know, in the off months around here, in the colder winter months where it's not as beautiful.
it does show you winter versus summer. Yes,
Yeah.
it does show.
Right, that's important too, for sure.
Because then that's another way that I was thinking of we could take this. You know, could this be a potential benefit or strategy that we could sell a single family home to an investor to potentially do this with?
Right.
You know, would that be beneficial? I think maybe it could, depending on the location. I mean, think about it. If we could max out their monthly rent to $3,000 instead of just their, you know, monthly payment of $1,000,
Sure.
we'd have investors out the door.
Sure. I could see how that app would be great to see what areas. I mean, if you're going to treat this as a business, it sounds really important to have a service like this. I wonder if Airbnb provides that info to their hosts as well.
I think they recommend this website,
Got it.
AirDNA, so they might even own it. I don't know.
Got it. That makes sense. So you're obviously looking for houses in the highest occupancy rate.
Right, exactly.
And so on.
I think what we should do as a company is perhaps purchase an apartment in downtown and actually try this.
You know, I was just at a conference, and what's also popular now is co-living spaces. So where apartment owners create basically dorms, and they try to match people up as best as possible, but they're literally renting out fractional apartments.
So like a room.
Like a room. I mean, they share the kitchen and family room and whatever else, but they put locks on bedrooms and whatever else, and lease out co-living spaces, which is popular in DC. We don't see that here in North Australia yet, but
Hostel, is that what they call them?
hostel. Yeah, I don't
I kind of more of like an inn, like where it's technically like a hotel, but the owners live and sleep there and cook for the people that stay and provide like a bed and breakfast exactly. I could see that being pretty cool as like an apartment. If you get the right people saying, hey, I want they could have lunch every day at a certain time and it's like a dinner and everyone's sitting around. Who knows how that would.
And it depends on the areas. So, like, if you think about areas like Cleveland Heights and Coventry, or University Circle, or Lee Road, I can see where there's more like restaurants and bars, and things to do, and the younger crowds, especially millennials now, could go for co-living spaces for sure.
Well, I was also going to suggest that if you are going with the concept, obviously Airbnb does their own marketing, but you should too. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't. You should create stories on social media and create videos about your property and images about your property and blog about your property, or let somebody else blog about your property and link to your profile.
And just like we do for our buildings and amenities, that's important.
Right.
So if you're doing it in Cleveland, Ohio, having maps to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, having phone numbers and everything else, you could quickly find answers on Google, but just providing it to them and providing them ideas on what to do and your favorite restaurants and your
Current
etc.
expense,
Or,
yes.
or possibly even invite your guests somewhere.
Right. Elsewhere, other than being and then, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Just to provide that experience and the amenities that people look for. What other amenities would be important for travelers that they couldn't get in a hotel?
I mean, just out of the few that there are, the big draws are, the low. People want to look like they live local, so they want that more local feel when they go to these places. Like when I went to San Francisco, like if I was staying in a hotel, I wouldn't have got the same exact experience I would have, because when I walk out the door at the place that we're at, it's like there's a neighbor walking down the street and they're like, "Hey, how you doing?" At a hotel, some people aren't like that. They're very conservative, and they, this person might be
In
for
their own
business.
space,
They're in their,
right.
right, exactly. But when they think I've lived there, they're like, "Oh, how you doing? What's going on? What's your day?" It's a different feel. It's a different atmosphere.
It's an awesome experience, actually.
So,
Sounds great.
so again, the concierge, right? That's a big experience, and hotels don't ask us, what do we like? Do we like beer? Do we like wine? Do we like
Right.
ice skating or whatever else? Where an Airbnb host can, and then how cool would it be if you came to Cleveland and your host pre-prepared like some of our local brewery
Oh, it'd be amazing.
beers or something like that, or a nice bottle of wine from one of our wineries, or again,
So
ice
you're-
skating. Here's 3 ice skating rinks around
Didn't you think of?
my house, but
Because just now the breweries and bars around Cleveland, they do like I can't remember what it's actually called, but it's like a little pamphlet, and it's like a checkbox, and it wants you to visit all of these different places. There's a few in Lakewood, there's a few in Ohio City, there's a few downtown, like Great Lakes Brewery, and what's the other local one? I can't even remember its name, but regardless, it just has all this. If we provided that to a person staying, we could even, because of these people like on Airbnb, it's not just the person rating their stay. You also, as the landlord, get to rate the person staying with you.
Yeah.
So
Right.
we could go in and be, somebody calls us and they say, "Hey, I want to book this." "Oh, what's your account?" Go check their account. "Oh, we like this, we like this." You can literally accommodate based on what that person's interests are.
Oh, that's awesome.
Just like Eric was saying.
Right.
So we can check them out, and then we can review them, and we can, "Oh no, you know what, they get rowdy, they have a bad rating, they're at a 3 compared to a 5, just like the last people were, oh, maybe we
you
should
should decline them.
you can decline them."
It's great.
So that's part of the, probably the fee too, is being able to shop around as the landlord. "Hey, I got 3 people looking to stay at this time. I'm going to pick the best person."
Right.
Not just first come, first serve.
Sounds good. So again, differentiation is super important. Price is important, and I think running it as a true business, just not part-time. Hey, I have a house or a spare room. Sometimes I'm going to rent it out, sometimes I'm not. But if you do treat it as a business, I think, and differentiate yourself from everyone else and provide that great experience. This can't be a good business no matter what area you're in.
And
Obviously, like ski areas and whatever else are great, but it's so seasonal, right? 9 months out of the year, there's no snow. So, but then again, they can provide other things like mountain biking, fishing, and some other things. So,
well, another thing, as we discussed earlier, that perhaps you don't have any properties, but you want to help people manage them. A number of properties for a cut.
oh,
That is also
that
an
could be
idea.
a business.
Where you take care of cleaning and maintenance for them, and
That's interesting.
they just provide the property.
That's interesting. I wonder
If there's room for that, for a company like that,
well, there's always room
might be
for somebody who doesn't want to do the actual work.
Right.
And,
Right.
So
Yeah, like if somebody came into this and it got great success after their first one and bought, a few more and got up to, double digits in properties, there's no way they can do it themselves.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Just by turnover, what if they all turn over at the same time?
And
Just
on the
those-
other side, if you can't have 10 properties but want one, then you can probably save by doing your own cleaning and maintenance and whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it still sounds very
And then
full time.
it's still 24/7.
And eventually you are going to get help.
24/7.
Right.
And especially, it seems like in this, it's a lot more amenities and involved than just a normal rental. Like in our instance, our investors are completely passive. Once they purchase the product from us, if we don't hear from them, that's the good thing. We obviously keep them informed with every decision that needs to be made, but they know coming into a Smartland strategy is, hey, I'm hands off. You guys got this for me.
Right.
In an Airbnb, it's almost like the landlord needs to know everything that is going on every second of every day to make sure that, hey, I got the cleaning crew at the right time. I can flip this and turn it over in a day. Or any bad maintenance issue, I got to be able to fix it immediately, not just tomorrow,
Mhm.
not when the people move out. Those people that are
24
staying there
hours,
need it
basically.
then. It seems like it's a little more hands on to where a management company.
Well, I mean, it's a hotel. I mean, you got people coming in 2 days, 1 day, 5 days, etc. So it's, hotel management is not an easy thing. I mean, the people have degrees in it, and now anyone can be one, right?
Right.
With their own house. So yeah, it is a business and it is complicated, and you just have to treat it professionally, and not is again my thought on how to have a successful business.
But I like what Victor was saying about maybe purchasing a building. I don't know if we need to start that big. Start with
Not a building. Perhaps
Maybe
a unit.
start with
A unit.
just two single family homes, and if they're in prime location, if we get one
Sure.
like in Ohio City area or around,
And give it a try. Mm-hmm.
even
Well-
Little Italy or Coventry area.
part of our recession plan, if and when there's another recession, etc., is exactly that.
Mm-hmm.
On some of the non-occupied units, that's always in all of our underwriting and so on as well.
If we were going to try this, in Smartland in-house, and we started with a property, let's just say a single family home, just one, just as a trial, how would that go? What would we do first? Obviously,
Well,
purchase the property in our name, or do we want to go into that detail?
I think we'd go on that Air DNA and find a really good high occupancy area. That makes a lot of sense to me. I think a lot of what we talked about is amenities in true Smartland style, right? To try to over amenitize the property, take amazing pictures, furnish it with some cool furniture
Right.
that people like and want to stay in. Again, the photography is super important, and take care of, especially the first set of customers, so they leave amazing reviews and really hold their hands and be available to them. And
So take it to the next level as far as hosting.
always,
Completely to the
always.
next level.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, just with our background and how many properties and experience all of us have, and amenities and just being customer service, I mean, we could kill this industry with how much we know and how much, just going into just setting up the property initially, even renovating it, it's never those,
Right.
it's always those high-end products, those resilient, quick turnover products to where if something bad did happen, we could get it back up in a day.
And I wouldn't think single family. I would think apartment buildings. So don't forget, it's more to the bottom line as well, per unit, if we do a great job. So if we get a downtown apartment building and really knock it out of the park, we could be making $2,000 to $3,000 a month in rents instead of $900 or $1,000.
Right.
So
And that's per unit.
Per
and
unit.
that's per unit,
Mm-hmm.
correct. So this could be a lucrative business, and we could turn it into
And it's
a
still
Hyatt hotel. But
it's still, I would argue, the whole Airbnb thing, even though it's very popular, it's still somewhat in its infancy because not all age groups use it. So as it goes further, it's only going to get bigger.
Agreed. agree that it's definitely in its infancy, and a lot more people do have nice stories to tell. So it's it'll penetrate into a much bigger market for sure.
Yeah, I mean, with just our amenities background, USB outlets, like the place that we stayed didn't have any of those.
Right.
The shop.
Alexa.
Maybe Alexis.
Yeah.
Alexa,
Alexis,
music.
yeah.
And
Hey,
speakers.
Alexa, I'm new to this area. What's happening?
Right.
What do you like? Yeah.
Catered to their.
Oh, but imagine a sheet of questions to ask Alexa around the area. Alexa, local breweries. Alexa.
Yeah,
Rock
and
and
it's
roll
right
Hall
there
of
next
Fame.
to Alexa.
Yeah,
You
right.
say
can read
command,
off.
right.
Amazing.
So
Yeah. See, a little creativity goes a long way. Yeah.
Right. Or smart locks. Right. So
Right.
we're big on IoT smart locks. So that helps us and manage the property. People can come and go as they want. We can give them a code that's just good for their stay. That'll never work again.
Right, and if we ever do get scared, it's a smart lock. It's just super easy to rekey. Go in, change it, put the new key in the lock, gone. Done.
Well, you can remotely set new
Right,
codes
even-
and stuff. So we don't even have to really be there to give them the key or not.
At all.
Right. Yeah. You don't need a key.
Yeah, that's how the place when we were in San Diego, it was just a touchpad on the front door, and
Yeah.
then through the gate there was another touchpad that
And you never saw anybody?
never saw anybody.
Did you leave them a good review?
Oh yeah, we left them one immediately. This second we got back and seeing that the sink was fixed, and that's the other part I love about it. Just being in the property management industry, we all know about good tenants, finding good tenants, to where a lot of the time we don't have power. We don't know these people. We do background checks and we're very scrutinized with our tenanting process, but that still only paints a picture. We have reviews from other landlords saying if this tenant was a good stay or not.
Right.
Because these people, if you're using Airbnb, you've probably used it a few times.
Right. So you can look them up.
You can look them up. And you can
Right.
make the decision to where we don't have that in normal renting. I could see it. Just we should give it a try. Just get a rental, and obviously location is big. We don't want to set it up to fail, so we're not going to put it in Chesterland. Even though we did see some success there from other people, but we want to try a better location, like Eric was saying. Get into that website and really see that.
And
analytics.
and now that I'm thinking about it, is there a way to even monetize it like on a per room? Right. So if we have a 2-bedroom, it's not renting the apartment for $100 a night. It's renting the apartment for $100 a night times 2.
Right.
Right, which could be a possibility. So those that want the full apartment, maybe there's a different price or whatever else. But anyway, it's really interesting. So okay,
Well,
another
thank you very much.
another good session.
So if you liked it, run with it.
Run with it.
Okay.